What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Ani-mity, and welcome to a return to form for the channel. Feels like I haven't done a video like this in a very, very long time. Welcome back to the Y series, my friends. Which, I guess is the first time I've ever actually called it the Y series, but it makes sense, there's a couple of videos here on the channel where I just go Y, insert show here. And I definitely want to come back to doing these. I haven't done these in a very, very long time. And, I'm not complaining. I've been doing a lot of videos I've been enjoying a lot. I've done my reaction videos. I've done my all-time favorite series in the Fan versus Critics and all the discussions I've done with Alia. And, there's more videos like that that will come in time. But, in the meantime, while I'm back to doing videos somewhat on my own, I want to take some time to be able to talk to you guys about the Y series and kind of talk about what inspired me behind it, because it's something that it occurred to me while I was thinking of all the Y series I did want to start making again. It's like, man, I really do like this question why, and I kind of wanted to take a moment to discuss what about the question I find so interesting when it comes to talking about my favorite shows, because I think there's a lot to unpack with it. Because it's more like the question why to me means more than just what you like about the show. It's what does the show mean to you on a deeper, more personal level. And I think that with almost every show that I've consumed, there is something about it that I can say resonated with me or had some really strong effect that I personally really I really stuck with me and made me really, really appreciate the show for what it is. And there's a lot I can unpack with a lot of different shows like that. And even the ones where I don't, that's kind of what the question why unlocks for me. When I ask, when I ask Alia why she likes K Project or why she likes the Jurassic Park series, she can give me an answer for it, but sometimes I'll push with keep asking when I keep asking that question of why to get a little bit more. Or like with Chris, I think I did this in the first episode of our reaction series. I keep asking that question of why because I want more than just the surface of, oh, I like the show because of, maybe the color scheme or the themes. I want to know, like, what is it about the themes that resonate with people so well? And I guess with the question of why comes the question of what about, or like, what is it that does this or generates this specific reaction for it? Like, I'm always curious to know, like, if they even recognize what is making them react in this way. And sometimes I ask myself that question. Like, I remember for the longest time when I started my time in Ithaca, I was watching shows and I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't really getting into the shows the way that I remember that I used to. I just would like watch an episode, text would roll on screen. I'm kind of like, okay, whatever, time for me to move on to the next episode and just keep the binge and just go, 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 go. And I would just keep moving on through episode and episode and episode, just trying to get to the end of, whatever it is I'm doing with that. And, I wasn't really enjoying what I was doing with it. And it wasn't until I watched Owl House where I remember I had this very, very strong reaction. I'm trying to remember the name of the episode. It's the episode where we get to learn about Rain and Ida's backstory. Like we get to see how they met, we get to see how they built a relationship, we get to learn about a lot more about Rain and their backstory. We learn more about Ida. It's the I thought there'd be more. The episode of that. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I feel so stupid for not remembering it. But anyway, it was that episode that I remember that was the first time I really felt something again, where I felt good about watching the episode. I felt good about that reaction for it. I remember, like, I was in my dorm. If you want to imagine this, I was in my dorm. It's a quiet day. I don't know where everyone else was. I guess this is kind of study mode for a lot of people. We were in midterm season. I had already taken all my midterms, so I'm just like, okay, I got a day to relax. I got some ramen here that I made for myself. I'm just gonna pull up the latest episode of The Owl House here on my computer, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch this episode, and we're gonna have a good time. And I'm kind of like, I like The Owl House. I love the episodes I've seen of it so far, but again, nothing's really like really gotten that reaction from me lately, or just I didn't remember having that reaction with the series up to that point. So, you know, I'm doing the thing from Gravity Falls, the slow take of my ramen. I got a dumpling on my spoon. I'm slowly going to take it. I am chewing it. I'm listening to what's happening in the episode and just like, okay, everything seems to be going as it normally does. And then Ida says, oh, so you want to know about this backstory of mine? And I remember I instantly started hacking and coughing because I'm just like, whoa, no, I've been wanting to see this for so long. Yes! And I don't know why, like, that memory of everything that happens in the Owl House. I mean, between how excited I was when we finally got the Lumity kiss, or how excited I was for, like, so many different things. Like, I remember when we got to knock, knock, knock on the Hootie's door. I don't know why. I think I knew there was going to be something happening with Lumity in that episode for whatever reason, maybe like the thumbnails or something like that. I don't know. I was hoping for something, and I remember I got up really, really early that day, and I was just like, "Oh, I really need to see the episode. I really need." I was at my grandma's house, and I woke up really, really early, and I'm just like, "Please, please, please, I need to see this episode." And I was super, super excited for it. And I have that reaction with a bunch of shows, but just for some reason, I just don't remember feeling that way for a very long stretch of time. Like there'd be like long gaps between episodes where I'd feel that way about a show. Um, where was I going? It's the so just like the question of why is like where does that feeling come from? Like what is it about the show that kind of gets me to feel this way? And more often than not, it leads for me to discussions about the characters because I think in asking myself the question of why, I realized the thing that I care about and the thing that I prioritize when it comes to videos and when it comes to talking about a lot of this stuff, the thing that I prioritize in, you know, my analysis of a show is the characters. Because for me, the setting and the story itself can be really, really interesting, but ultimately, if I don't care about the characters enough as they're going through the story, like if I don't care about Subaru, which I'll be completely honest, I don't most of the time. It's like the characters around Subaru and ReZero I find really interesting, but Subaru himself I don't find the most interesting. Like, characters like Wilhelm, like Rem and Ram, like Amelia, like Puck, like Roswell. I find all of them so fascinating because there's such a lore and there's such story to them, and the intricacies of their personalities and such, and kind of what makes them who they are, is the thing that I keep coming back for because I keep wanting to see more of that. Or I want to see, like Subaru and Ram. I love, or not Ram, Rem. I want to see Subaru and Rem. Very clear. I want to see Rem, not Ram. Ram is a good character, but also Rem is the one I care about. Anyway, with Subaru and Rem, I want to see so much more of their relationship and kind of like the way in which they bounce off each other and kind of the connection that they have with each other is something that I find very appealing. It's something that I want to see more of in the show. It's a thing that I enjoy seeing the most. And it's just like it's all the stuff of the characters that I want to see. If I don't care about the characters, I ultimately don't care about the story. And I'm trying to think of another good example of this. Like it's I think a critique I have with JoJo some of the time when I watch it. I don't know why. It's just most of the JoJos, like Joe what's his name? Jonathan, I like him, but I didn't really get a sense of like he's a gentleman and I respect that in him and I like the angle they take on that and kind of like the courage and the charisma that comes with being a Joe star in that I liked, but not enough that I really got a full sense of a character. And given that part one is so short in the anime, I really didn't have enough time to really get a feel of Jonathan as a character. And then Joseph, I just really could not get behind him as a character. Really, all of part two. Well, the story of part two is really interesting. I just couldn't get behind the characters themselves, and I just ended up not really enjoying myself with that. Same part three, just a lot of JoJo. My dislike and distaste for it does come from the fact that I don't like a lot of the characters, or I don't feel for the characters the way I do for some other shows. And if the Joe Star fandom out there wants to come at me for this, then be my guest. But at the same time, like I said, that's just how I think and feel about the JoJo series. It's just not a series that I really resonate with in comparison to, say, even K Project, which is a show that, I love K Project a lot, and there's a lot I can go into about it. It's not one of the shows that I would put as like my strongest like. It is one of the shows where just like it's a show that did something that not a lot of shows have done, where it's like I can see I saw the breadcrumbs while I was watching with Ali, and there were things I was kind of picking up on as we went, and it's something that I guess I wasn't really paying as much attention to in that I don't pay as much attention to in other shows. But with K-pop, it was super fun to kind of have that, and it made my like interest in the story and in getting to know these characters a bit more increase in that way. like I said, it's not a show that I think is like my all-time favorite by any means, but it's a show that I think is very interesting to talk about in the concept of why. Because like, what is it about the show that is drawing these reactions for me? And then that kind of makes this conversation and this question so interesting and so fun for me. It's like it's ultimately it comes to that. It's what is it that draws that reaction? I love hearing other people's reasonings behind it, other people's thoughts behind why they think or feel a way about a show. And it's the thing that kind of makes me question myself and what is it that's drawing this reaction for me in the shows. And then it kind of makes me kind of take this more deep analysis of what's happening inside that's making me feel this way. And I love drawing that in other people, and I love the conversations that I end up spawning. And, for some people, they find it annoying, they find it like, I don't think that deeply about my shows. And I'm like, you should! Because I mean, I say you should because of that. I just love shows so much, and I love being able to draw on such a deep passion for it. And I know that's not for everyone, but in the people that I can inspire that in, it's something that I love to do. It's something that I love doing through these videos, and it's again what makes these whys, the discussion videos that I do on series, so fun to do because I get to kind of take the time to ask myself that question, interview myself on that question, and then cast it off to you guys. And I get to see the comments. I get to see what people think and feel about the shows, or if there's opinion on them. And I wish that I had a bit more of a connection to my audience. I don't really feel like I have that really. There's people who subscribe, there are people who watch, and I appreciate you all for that so much. I'd really, really love to see the comments. I'd love to see how you guys think and feel about the shows that I talk about. I mean, when I do Roshinera, I know that was a very popular show. I mean, I don't really see a lot of discussion for it nowadays, but also I remember when it came out, there was things all over the place for it. I love Roshinera so much, so I'm gonna love doing that discussion video. And I think it showed in the when I saw the views for my Roshinera discussion video, like just seeing the uptick in views with that, it's like people like the show, and I love seeing that because I love Roshinera so much. So I'm excited to be able to talk about the series when I have the chance to, and I'm excited to be able to talk about all these different series for it, especially with, Roshinere Season 2 is on the horizon, Hazbin Hotel is about to come back, which I'm really excited for. And Hell of a Boss, well, I'm excited for it to eventually transition to being the Amazon show. It's had its sporadic shorts here and there that I watch, and then they're also super fun to talk about. But I'm excited to talk about all these different shows. But the thing I'm more excited about than anything is hearing from you guys, is hearing the feedback and the pulse of the community, and getting to hear what other people have to think and say about all these different shows. I'd love to hear that from you guys. So I'd love to see the comments down below. Really, please, please, please I'd love to see your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. It really does mean the world to me. So, just, if you guys feel up to it, just leave a comment. I'd love to see it. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's been a pleasure doing this video. It's been super, super fun. I've enjoyed doing this a lot. And be on the lookout for more Y series on the horizon. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. My name is Mustafa. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.